Servus Leute, willkommen zurück zu Tales of Ares. Wir sind auf einem Frachtschiff, haben durch Zufall mit Rinwell gesprochen, auch mit Kisara, der es offensichtlich nicht ganz so gut geht, was ich durchaus verstehen kann. Wobei, ich bin noch nicht so auf dem Schiff gefahren, ein-, zweimal und da ist mir nicht schlecht geworden. Naja, da vorne ist Shion, mit der reden wir zum Schluss. Das heißt, das nächste Ziel ist jetzt Dohalin.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almadria?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almadria did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almadria do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almadria resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
Die beiden sind auf einer Wellenlänge und Dohalim scheint tatsächlich sehr weise zu sein. Sieht cool aus, aber dass da im Hintergrund nichts zu sehen ist, naja gut, da muss auch nicht immer was zu sehen sein. So, Law, wie geht's dir bei dieser Kreuzfahrt?
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almadria, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Also Law gefällt mir immer besser. Eigentlich sind männliche Haupt- oder Nebencharaktere nicht so meine Favoriten, vor allem nicht bei RPGs, aber Law hier. Ich meine, Yuri. Okay, Yuri war klar, das ist die Hauptfigur von Tales of Vesperia. Und auch wenn er manchmal ziemlich gemein ist, hat er doch einen coolen Charakter, meiner Meinung nach. Aber Law hier, der von Anfang von diesem, ja, anfangs gefiel er mir noch nicht so wirklich, aber er hat sich echt gemausert und ich bin beeindruckt, zumindest von den Charakteren hier. Ich meine, gut, Alphen ist dieser typische Good Guy irgendwie, naja. Und vielleicht deswegen, weil Yuri nicht der typische Good Guy war. So, jetzt möchten wir jedenfalls mit Shion sprechen.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almadria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cislodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renaissance, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almadria. I'll ask Mahavar.
Ja, was ich angesprochen habe, von wegen, Yuri ist nicht so der typische Good Guy, so wie zum Beispiel Elfen oder Lloyd oder so. Und Shion ist dann das Gegenstück, quasi nicht so das Good Girl, also nicht so das Prinzesschen, so wie es zum Beispiel Mint, ja gut, Mint war keine Prinzessin, aber charaktermäßig meine ich jetzt, oder Colette oder Estelle waren. Mint sage ich schon. Shion ist leider zickig und das scheidet sie irgendwie voneinander. Gut, wie lang dauert die Fahrt noch? Das Schiff hat einen größeren Vorsprung als ich dachte. Wenn ihr noch ein kleines Nickerchen einlegen wollt, bevor es ernst wird, ist jetzt die Chance. Ja.
Look who's up. Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almadria.
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah, the biggest one in all of Mahagsar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelselik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almadria plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsef when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought it was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own, yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Danon in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Ja, schon wieder eine mobile Festung, die kennt man ja. Weil unter anderem gab es auch in Tales of Vesperia eine. Jedenfalls, falsche Taste. Wie sieht mein Team aus? Ich vergesse es immer. Da. Aha. Gut. Ihr seid genau die Person, die ich mit drin haben will, weil Law, der ist mittlerweile... Oh, danke, geil. Der ist mittlerweile sowieso unentbehrlich geworden. So oft wie der Overlimits und so einsetzt. Und Rinwell soll ihre Rache bekommen. Auch wenn Rache nichts Gutes ist, aber naja. Okay, ich kann da durch. Gehen wir erstmal geradeaus weiter. Aha. Kopfsalat. Achso, jetzt habe ich 3 von 4 Kopfsalate. Mein Essenseffekt ist auch vorbei jetzt. Mist. Na gut, dann bebattle ich euch. Oh, du stehst direkt hier hinter der Tür. Jetzt kämpfe ich nur gegen dich. Na, ganz toll. Nur den? Kritisch. Ja, komm. Allmächtiger Altar. Silberne Ah, jetzt habt ihr es gecheckt. Noch ein Panzerschütze. Wo war der denn? Box ihn! Bums! Geboxt. Und das. Und diesen. Und jenen. Halt ihn mal auf, Dorlin. Das war nicht geplant, aber egal. Ich nehm's an. Geht sich's aus? Ja, geht sich aus. Aber ja, Wolf. Ach, der Move. Der ist wirklich nur für einen exakten Nahkampf. Schauen wir mal. Oh. Du hast mich gesehen und greifst an, aber du bist jetzt ganz alleine. Alle deine Kumpels sind weg. Oh, du hast ein mächtiges Großschwert. Aua. Komm her. Ah, falsche Taste. Law, box ihn mal. Bums, geboxt. Ja, geilster Move. Sieht zwar nicht am spektakulärsten aus, aber es ist mal der geilste. Weil Law und Elfen ihn einsetzen, deswegen. Okay, hier geht's weiter. Was ist das? Was ist dieses Ding? Bilde ich es mir ein oder sieht es genauso aus wie das Ding im Reveal? Warte, das besteht aus Astralenergie. Es könnte eine von allem... Hier die Frau. Fallen sein. Mist. Also was machen wir? Wenn ich die Astralenergie manipuliere, kann ich es vielleicht aus dem Weg räumen. Ein Versuch ist es wert. Jetzt zeigst du mal deine Overworld-Technik. Ja, Rinwells Kartenaktion. Kümmere ich mich gleich drum. 3 Tomaten. So, da drüben ist auch noch was. Oh, kommt her. Vielleicht hätte ich zuerst den Wall entfernen sollen. Naja. Zählt das überhaupt als Fesseln, wenn ich es in der Luft einsetze? Boom! Ey. Nein, falsch. Ich wollte eigentlich das da. Oh, wie das Vieh einstecken muss. Er ist ausgewichen. Oh, es wird geballert. Komm her, Mistvieh. So. Jetzt kann ich mich um die Barriere kümmern. Ja! So viel Geld. Ich meine, es sieht so viel aus, aber... Naja. Ins Buch gestopft. Okay, da brauche ich einen Aufzug für. Wie Law sich auf einmal so herzlich um Rinwell kümmert. Das finde ich auch irgendwie toll. So, erstmal das da. Ja, das kann ich gut gebrauchen. Dann, da vorne sind Gegner, da drin sind Gegner. Erstmal da rein. Kommt her! Ausgeh, was für ein Dings, Wolf? Auf den wollte ich nicht. Na, egal. Jetzt, wo du schon mal da liegst. Oh ja, Law, mit seinem Überlimit. Ja, mach Dorlin. Ja, mit Schwert und Schild. Da hat keiner eine Chance. Ey, bleib hier. Boom. Ach, verdammt, ich wollte gerade meinen Move einsetzen. Die Waffenkammer, oder? Wow! What the fuck? Ich habe richtig geguckt. Warum so viel? Ich meine, gut, hier ist alles schweineteuer und so, aber... Vielleicht deswegen so viel, weil hier alles so schweineteuer ist. So, hier irgendwo was? Ja, da. Milch.
Yep, the sooner the better.
Ja, es gibt hier nur keinen Ort, wo wir kochen könnten, meine Lieben.
Go no further.
So, ein Schlag und schon mein Mega-Move ausgepackt. Ja, der Move, der sitzt ordentlich. Ey, du Lanzenmann. Danke für die Heilung. Box mal. Bam! Na gut, treten ist auch... Treten ist fast dasselbe. Ja, und diese Tigerklinge, die kenne ich aus anderen Tales-of-Spielen. Weil Tales of Phantasia gab's die, in Tales of Symphonia gab's die, in Tales of Vesperia gab's die. Gab's glaube ich, in jedem Tales of Teil. Was hat er gesagt? You got... Hör auf. Fesseln mal. Ja, alle auf den Wolf. Oh, der hat eingesteckt. Und Box. Ja. Ach, verdammt. Ah. Daneben, du Loser. So war es nicht geplant, aber egal. Umso besser. So. Weil du zitterst? Ah, Moment, das ist da hinten. Gut. Dann da. Wow! Das sieht gefährlich aus, okay. Dreimal Rind. Dann knöpfe ich mir euch beiden noch vor und den roten Ritter dann im nächsten Part. Halt ihn auf, Kisara, bevor er angreifen will. Gut gemacht. Oh, in die Luft gewehrt. Oh, Lord, eingesteckt. Ja. Jetzt. War's das? Ja, der andere ist auch tot. Gut, ich glaube, Law ist immer noch geschwächt, oder? Ja. Das haben wir gleich. So. Perfekt. Gut, dann werde ich hier den Part beenden. Das war Tales of Ares. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Pfiat euch.